Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we are going to be looking at if traditional dating is dead and whether the future is sugar baby, sugar daddy relationships, men renting women. I found this video I thought would be good, interesting watch for us to deep dive and see where people are headed, where the minds of the next generation is, what people are doing right now. Okay, because the world is in crisis. There is a dating crisis. There is a fertility crisis. Um, Western countries aren't able to reproduce. They aren't making babies anymore. They aren't not at a replacement level, you know, um, and that is causing a lot of angst, a lot of worries for the future, which is why you are seeing mass immigration into Western countries, Europe, America, all these places are looking to have a wave of demographic changes. Why is that happening? It's because everything's becoming more and more expensive. Okay, why is everything becoming more and more expensive? Because the elites are planning to bankrupt you. They are planning to steal your resources via inflation. They are making your money worth less and less. Wages have been stagnant for years, for decades, whilst inflation is rising, whilst everything is getting more and more expensive. We are living through a cost of living crisis. People are struggling, right? However, we are also in the midst of a K-shaped economy where the stock market is booming, right? People who are investing in the stock market are making money. We are living through an AI bubble, which is forming right now. We could be potentially seeing the end of that bubble and seeing that bubble pop, which is worrying as well. But the people, the everyday people in the normal economy, everything is going down while the stock market is going up, which is why it is referred to as a K-shaped economy. And it is causing men to drop out of the dating market because they simply cannot afford to pay their way, pay for dates. More wealthier men, well, billionaires, millionaires across the world are flying out women. They are able to compete via financial powers. Most women have their own job, so they don't really need a man with an average salary. They need a man with a substantial, above average salary, right? That is what is attractive now. That is how the world is shaping up. And if you are somebody who is wishing that we would return back to a normal life, or back to the 1950s or 60s when times were better, that's not how the game's been played. The elites are speed running the end of our civilization. They want to literally blow everything up, in order for them to survive, in order for them to get all the benefits, get all the money, get all the resources, while the everyday people suffer. We've talked multiple times on this channel about what AI is doing and the potential future of the AI future that is coming. The World Economic Forum, what they have planned for us, the world elites who are meeting in secret rooms, in secret meetings in Davos, what they are doing. They want you in a 15-minute city. They want you just plugged into the metaverse at all times. They want you to have no autonomy over your life, no decision making skills. They want you to be locked up in your room so that they can easily control you, so that they can have power over you. Here at Raw Instinct, we are taking back our power. We are forming nations. We are building kingdoms. Okay, if you want to be safe, you have to have your own kingdom. You need to be able to have your own protection. Because when as you're seeing right now in the Middle East, Iran, people thought that were super super safe in Dubai, the safest country in the world. you know if you're slap bang in the middle of a nuclear escalation, you know then you're going to suffer, right? You're going to potentially be in the middle of a war zone, which is why we here at Raw Instinct are buying private islands. We are moving the fuck away from any potential war. We are establishing kingdoms and nations, safe places for our people to come and live, for us to enjoy safety, for us to enjoy a way of life that is totally new, right? We will be away from the current structures. We will be away from the current problems that the world is facing. We are coming up with new creative solutions, which is what we are all about. We are building, shoulder to shoulder, side by side, 100 kings, the 100 Amicis, the Royal Alliance of Kings that we are forming here. And the way you become a king is somebody who finds their life purpose. Whatever it is that you are passionate about, we will, turn you into a subject matter expert so that you are seen as an expert, as an authority, that so that people defer to you when there is problems in the world, during times of crisis. And when you have that type of authority, you are essentially seen as a leader. And when you are a leader, you can crown yourself a king. And it is only natural that we will build kingdoms here, okay? But let's dive straight into this video.
I rent girlfriends. I spent over £50,000 on it.
A rented girlfriend. What are the pros?
So a rented girlfriend, is that just code word for prostitute? Is it a sugar baby? It's especially during a cost of living crisis like we are experiencing right now. Many people, aren't feeling safe. Many people are in a state where they are worried about the future. Can they pay for things? And then at the same time, people on social media are bombarded with images of luxury lives, of other people living very, very good lives, with very wealthy lives, and then naturally want to be a part of that. Okay, I encourage you to live a life of luxury, which is what I'm all about here on this channel. But it has warped people's minds. Okay, many people are so afraid that they're willing to do whatever it takes to make money, and that you can see in the rise of the OnlyFans economy. You can see it in the rise of people addicted to gambling and all these gambling websites making money off of the hope that you will make it rich on them. Crypto is another thing. um, you know if you look at the stock market, people just throw money at meme stocks, meme coins. It is out of control because many people are worried. Many people have no idea how they will survive, which is why they're willing to do anything. And then many women are resorting to sugaring, renting themselves out in exchange for dating. I mean, many, dating today, a lot of the time women will ask up front, can you send me money so I can get ready for our date? Right? They need to get the nails done. They need to get the hair done. They need that makeup. They need a new dress, right? For them, it is just entertaining. And the thing is, when you live in a society where many men are willing to simp, many men are willing to throw money at the problem, right? You can't be angry. That is the meta right now. That is the game that is being played, and you have to stay safe. You have to be somebody who is able to compete, right? But we go one step further than everybody. It's not just good being rich. It's not just good being famous. We are kings, okay? Because every woman sees herself as a queen, right? And would a queen just be with a rich man? Would a queen just be with someone famous? No, a queen goes one better. A queen needs to be at the side of a king, which is why we establish ourselves as kings, which is why we are building kingdoms. And then naturally, all the women would want to queue up in order to gain favor with us, in order to be part of our harem, and in order to be the queen by your side.
There's so many pros, dare I say so little cons.
So why are men renting girlfriends that aren't even real?
I don't want the realities of life. I want the yes woman.
Who doesn't say no?
Yeah, who doesn't say no?
Yeah, and another big part of it is, I mean, I agree. It'd be, how lovely would it be just for every woman just to say yes and never say no, right? Because we are living on the internet so much, because we are insulated, isolated, right? Like, for example, if you fancy a burger, you can go on an app and order DoorDash to your house, order Uber Eats to your house. If you want to call transport, you can call an Uber to your house. If you want to watch a film, go on Netflix, right? Everything is catered for you to, I want this, I'll get it, right? The only thing that you can't do is if you go on Instagram and you thirsting over these women, you can't just pick one up. Oh, wait, yes, you can, right? You can via sugar websites, sugardaddy.com. What was the other one? Secret? No, I forget that there was another big one. There was like a data leak that they had a few years ago. I forget the name, but yeah, like sugardaddy.com, like all these websites are in essence, like if you've got the money, you can just go on these websites and be like, okay, I fancy a brunette today. Bang, pick your brunette. She'll come to your house. You can have her for the month. You can rent her as a girlfriend. If you fancy a blonde the next month, go ahead, right? If you fancy a black girl the next month, right, you can do that. You have those options, okay? And as a king, I implore you to go ahead and experience everything. It is what we deserve. It is how we need to live. Let's see here. Hidden Channel, friend of the show, welcome Hidden Channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good. Once we all got kingdoms in the royal network, we will replace all the thugs, privileged fat boys, and oofy doofies, oofy doofies that underservedly get women. Yep, you know that is a thing. A lot of people right now are in those positions, in those privileged positions. Who are just lucky to be there. They haven't earned that spot. They are people who are fraudulent. They are people who, you know, the reason they get to that place is an interesting way of looking at it, right? It's you know, because they either nepotism. They have rich parents who put them into those positions. You know, they get either lucky by investing in the right crypto at some point, and then, you know, that propels their wealth, or a lot of the time is that they are so psychopathic that they're willing to do whatever it takes in order for them to get that position. Okay, normal people, normal good people like me and you, you know, they aren't able to go to that step because they have too much self-doubt within them. They have too much you know, fear of failure. They have too many fears that are holding them back. Okay, and here at Raw Instinct, what I work with my clients is I remove those fears, I remove those self-doubts that they have, and people go forward. People are able to, you know, once you remove the self-doubt, you are just free to express yourself. You are free to go forward and you know, reach your goals. Okay, you'll be fully unleashing all the personality that you have within yourself, all the charisma, all the confidence, and you're just able to move forward and achieve your goals, right? And that is what we are doing here. We are becoming our true selves. We are unleashing our true selves onto the world. We are becoming subject matter experts. Hidden Channel himself is becoming an expert in the field of mog maxing, as he calls it. And you know, he is starting a revolution. He is launching his own channel. He is somebody who is working very hard in the background. I know how hard he's working right now, and he will be successful. Okay, it is just about showing up. It's about putting in the hours, and slowly we are building our kingdoms. And once we have you know, once we have enough money, we will be buying private islands. We'll be escaping, so that when all these the people at the top, all these oofy doofies right now are you know, making decisions, you know, to go to war, to you know, plan the next you know, pandemic or whatever they may do, that we are out of that system, that we are free to live our lives how we see fit. Okay, but let's jump back in to this video.
After months of investigating, one man who rents girlfriends has agreed to speak to me, and it's the first time he's spoken to anybody about what he does.
Have you ever felt like an incel?
That's an interesting question.
I started this investigation thinking this was a story all about sex, but T is in this for something a lot darker.
To a lot of men, I guess this is their way to get back what is rightly.
Yeah, it's not just about sex. It's about you know, there is a loneliness epidemic right now. People are you know, by themselves. People are isolated. People are spending more and more time online in the world of the internet, and they aren't having that real connection, that real communication with real people, and it leaves, you know, humans need connection. Humans need, you know, that affection from a woman. They need to talk to people, to feel social, to be part of a social group, in order for them to feel that they are safe, in order for them to feel you know, at ease with the world, that everything is good in their life. But a lot of people are missing out on that, you know, because of technology, because of what the elites are doing, because sometimes it's just too expensive to go out at the moment, right? Okay, like literally, I remember I used to have a friend, and he would be like, you know, just stepping out your house costs you at least like 20 pounds, right? And if you think about it, it's true, right? Because if you're going to go somewhere, right, like 10 pounds on transportation, and then, you know, 5-10 pounds on something to eat, something to drink. Okay, like literally just those two things, it's like, you know, like 20 pounds, right? I remember when I was a kid, 20 pounds used to go so far. Okay, now 20 is 10 pounds for just a McDonald's meal, right? Everything is out of control. Money doesn't make sense anymore. And those people who don't have enough money, they will suffer, which is why we need to start you know, living that life of luxury, getting enough resources for us to band together, form our network, and build alliances and kingdoms, so that we can live the life that we truly deserve.
Yes?
I've tracked down forums full of guys who are doing this and women all around the globe appealing to them for a paycheck.
Eu adoro os que ficam apaixonados por mim, porque eles sempre gastam mais dinheiro comigo.
And it doesn't stop there.
There you go. Love equates, money equates love. Okay, she likes the ones who, because obviously, like these are women who, you know, they might be on an escorting site, they might be on a sugar daddy site, and then they, you know, people go on there and pick, well, I want this one, okay, and you know, even though you're paying for it, you want the full girlfriend experience, right? So you want her to at least pretend to really, really care about you deeply, and many of these men, you know, because they haven't experienced it so long, they have been starved of affection for so long, they end up buying into it. They're like, oh yeah, maybe she does really like me, maybe this one's different, okay, and then these women are then able to extort these men and put them in a position where, you know, they can request more money because they are playing the part. They are trading in their love for money and wealth.
I'm taking this to the next level, and by the end of this video, I'm going to ask T to do something he's never done before.
This is a big day. It's like a genuinely big day.
To talk openly with women about what he does face to face in real life.
For me, honestly, that's an absolute no.
You're trying to make her feel uncomfortable for the sake of it. So I guess why?
All right, so to be honest with you guys, I've been working on this investigation for a very long time to try and get deep into the world of renting girlfriends. It's been about a year, maybe a bit less. And yesterday, I made a massive breakthrough. There are a few different webs of guys online renting women to...
You know, a lot of these people, they are isolated, you know, and when you are isolated, when you are lonely, where do you turn to? You do turn to the internet. I mean, many people are turning to AI, asking AI, treating as a friend, treating as a therapist, in order for just to get a back and forth in communication, okay? And it is a sad state of events that this is taking place. I remember as a kid, you know, you can just knock on your next door neighbor's door, and, you know, if there were children there, you can go and play with them, okay? And then, you know, there'll be a bunch of kids, you know, a bunch of us just playing, you know, running around down the street, you know, going to a park, right, going to like a nearby little you know, small little forest, right, and you know, just playing around. But now you have too many parents who are too afraid to let their children out because they are scared due to the fear mongering online, because of the fears that are being created. Some of them legitimate, some of them not, but it is leading society down a path of you know, where more and more people are afraid, where more and more people are isolated, and that is why you're having this pushback there. That's why you have these websites, that's why you have these you know, forums where people discuss on how to, you know, even this looks maxing thing, right? Like how people can appear more attractive, and then people start buying into that type of cult, and they start getting more and more ingrained, and then their worldview gets warped, okay? And you know, like here on this channel, what I'm doing here is I'm reaching out to 100 people who want to escape the system, 100 people who want to create their own system, okay? It's no good just escaping and then, you know, living in Thailand just because it's cheap, right? It's all about actually creating something that goes beyond that, right? You have the power within you of a king, okay? And you know, if you look at kings like Genghis Khan, right, one of the world's greatest leaders, he was somebody who was an orphan. You know, his father was killed, and he nearly got killed, right? And then as a child, he still had that power within him to form an army, to overthrow the lords of Mongolia, unite them all, and then take over literally all of Asia, reaching up to Turkey, okay? That is the power of one man, and that is the power that you have within yourself. That is what I want you to do. I want you to raise your army. I want you to raise your kingdom. I want you to establish your kingdom in any arena that you want, okay? And we use the power of the internet. We use that power to connect with people. I'm connecting here, creating the Amichis, in order for us to all you know, have a safe place where we can discuss things, where we can share creative ideas, you know, to create a group of people who really have each other's backs, who you know, are able to, you know, really understand each other, care for each other, and when problems are there, when the wars to come begin, we will stand by each other's side, shoulder to shoulder, ready to fight for one another.
Pretend to be their girlfriends. But to be honest, I don't really know why. So I've been trying to get in touch with these guys online to find out. You know, hit them up with the usual Zanlan proposition. Hey,
I'm gonna speed it up a little bit here because he's just waffling on.
What do you think the differences are between like a rented girlfriend and a real girlfriend? What are the pros?
Oh, there's so many pros. Dare I say, so little cons. Say the online girlfriend is compliant. She's, your dream girlfriend. Normal girlfriend. She might have work. She might be doing something. She'll say, "I'm tired," or whatnot, which is a fair point, obviously.
Yeah, here at Raw Instinct, what we do is we position ourselves as kings so that when women see us, then we don't have to deal with all that bullshit. They are ready to comply with us naturally because we position ourselves as kings in her mind. And then she follows suit. She is ready to submit and do as we say, not because we are paying them, not because they are pretending, no, because they really see us as for the kings that we are. And then she will see herself as a queen. Being by your side, she will see herself as somebody who is worthy of your time, your affection, your love. And that is how you circumvent the modern problems that people have with dating. That is how you circumvent and sidestep all the issues that normal people have with dating. We position ourselves as somebody who is an expert, somebody who is a king, somebody who has authority, and women naturally contact us. They want to be a part of us. It is like having a bunch of groupies. Okay, it is like being a celebrity where women are throwing themselves at you. It'll be once you have your own kingdom, once you are a king, it will be the equivalent of like you'll get sick and tired of the amount of attention you get from women because they will be throwing themselves at you all the time. You'll be like, get the fuck out of my face, let me get back to work, let me start ruling again. Okay, you have a kingdom to rule. However, in our spare time, in our free time, when we enjoy ourselves, we are always surrounded by women.
See, but on my girlfriend, they're gonna say, they don't experience tiredness, or they wouldn't tell you we're tired or whatnot. They would do what you want, kind of thing.
But is that subservience something you're looking for?
I mean, somewhat. I mean, ideally, they're not saying no that much.
When you say that, like in what sense, what scenarios are they not saying no?
Well, let's say, you ask them to photo themselves. A normal girlfriend might be like, "Oh, I don't look good today," blah blah. Then they'll refuse. But
I think I'm wondering whether he's actually in a sugar baby relationship or whether he is just talking about OnlyFans girls. He has not really made it clear how he's paying or how he's meeting these women. So hopefully that he clears that up more in this documentary.
to hire a girlfriend, I mean, they're getting paid, so they're going to do what they have to do to get themselves ready to get that photo of you because they know you might just cancel otherwise if they're not making you happy.
So there's a kind of power over them that you wouldn't have in a normal relationship.
Yeah. If I was a woman and I knew that the person I was dating had been involved in these hiring a girlfriend schemes, I would not be happy with that. No women would be advocating for other women being exploited.
Is that what?
It's not even that fact that she is that other women are being exploited. It's the fact that you spent money on a virtual girlfriend, on a sugar baby or something, right? And then she's kind of jealous. She's like, that money could have been mine, right? So a woman always prioritizes her own money. She wants those resources. A lot of the time, what's worse than woman is like if you was to fuck another woman, right? But she couldn't get over that, right? But if you spend money on a woman, like serious money, right? Like 50K, 100K, right? Like that, a woman would lose it, okay? So spending money on a woman is worse than actually sleeping with another woman.
What do you think's happening? Like the kind of women are being exploited in those scenarios?
I think most of the time, yes. Most women, because of the money involved, they're kind of forced into it, even though they don't want to. But the reality is with that money on attraction, especially you're looking for, let's say, a college girl, somebody like 18, 19, by default they are, willing to do anything for the sake of money. These women are desperate, and dare I say, if the guy didn't help them, they would be in this.
And another thing is like with the OnlyFans economy, with everything going on, you're gonna see a lot of with AI. Technology becoming better and better and better, you're going to get a lot of virtual AI girlfriend OnlyFans models appearing with men behind them, right? And then the whole charade of women getting into OnlyFans, that economy will collapse, okay? And then all those women will turn to either escorting or sugar babying, because that is the only thing left for them to
They'll be
do.
in the streets or homeless or doing worse things maybe.
So very quickly, T started talking in a way that I was a bit uncomfortable with, talking about how he felt he was exploiting women, how he was kind of using money to pressure them to do things and be in a situation where they just couldn't say no. I wanted to know like where this was coming from, so I asked him to show me the forums that he used to moderate.
So it's basically like a Reddit forum full of what, men and women?
Yeah, so sellers will make their posts and then you can either go to them and mess them yourself.
What does a post say?
Usually you start with the physical aspect. So you say, I want a woman who's, 18 to 23.
And then women all come forward on that post.
It's like their sales pitch, so they will say, yeah, I'm a, 20-year-old woman, and blah, blah. If you're interested in the people, you'll say, well, that sounds great. How much do you charge? The good ones will give you like a trial that, where you pretend they're your girlfriend without sort of paying them. And I guess it's one of those things, once you try and do it and you have a decent time, you suddenly realize like, yeah, I can suddenly get whatever girl I want just by paying them, isn't that?
And that is, if you think about it, like when you're watching this, it looks a lot weirder because he's obviously wearing a mask and the way he's kind of talking, he sounds a little bit autistic to me anyway, right? But isn't that like how like all these rich people and the elites are doing it anyway, right? They literally like they pay these modeling agencies to bring women to them, right? They pick one, to make them their sugar baby, to make them their girlfriend, and then if they fancy a new one, right? Instead of going through a forum, they go through an actual person. That's the only kind of difference I see, right? A lot of the time, these people, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, or just an average dude like this guy, the underlying scenario it is the same, right? Because these people are just leveraging their money, and the women that want the money, so they put themselves in a position where they can be rewarded for their efforts.
Like the dream, in a sense.
How much do you think you've spent in total?
Probably about 50,000 in total.
You think you've spent £50,000 in total?
Yeah.
What's that like to think about 50,000? That's like a deposit for a house.
So even now, saying it out loud, I'm okay with it. I think experiences.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, this guy might be fucking loaded, right? So 50 grand might be nothing to him. It might be a lot of money to a lot of people, but no, that is how the world is working. Okay, if you want to date the hottest women, if you want to be a part of those things, you need money, you need resources, you need to be able to attract those women, you need to provide a lifestyle. Okay, she has certain expectations that she need to be met in order for you to get those women, get access to those women, right? If you're a man complaining about that, then it means that you're just broke and that you haven't got your money right yet, okay? And that you need to focus first on your money, and then you can be in a position to date the hottest women in the world.
Paying for, that makes sense. And yes, it is absolutely a lot of money. I think if you start regretting how you use your money, that's not good for you.
This one says, I'm looking for someone that can help with my social skills. Ideally, we'd be like good friends. I also feel like I could use this kind of like therapy. I imagine it feeling really good to have a close connection, have something together. I'd like it to be.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like that they want their girlfriend, their significant other, to be a therapist for them in their life. They want their girlfriend, to be a person that listens to their problems, right? And that is the wrong way to go about it. Okay, as a king, you are responsible for your own life. You are somebody who needs to work out your own problems. Okay, you need your own friends and counsel around you to give you advice, but don't ever use your woman as a soundboard for the issues that you face. Okay, a woman needs to see you as a strong person. A woman needs to see you as a leader. You can you can show, I guess, vulnerability and the human side of you, right? But really, if you are a king, you need to be you need to know where you're going, right? And the best way to do that is to get rid of the self-doubt that you have, okay? And then you don't need that therapist in your life, right? Remove the self-doubt, remove the fears that you have, and then the solutions will come easy to you because you'll be in your life purpose. You'll be fully connected within yourself, okay? That everything comes easy to you, that you know what the right thing is at any given moment. You know what to do with your life and how to treat your people, lead them to a better future.
Genuine, even if it's fake. A lot of them are pretty heavy, aren't they? My life isn't great right now. I'm really lonely and depressed and sad.
Yeah, I mean that this is it. This is that incel culture coming forth, and they're realizing, okay, that that unless you have money, unless you're paying for these women, right? Because even if you want to date and marry a woman, you still need to you know, take her on a date, pay for it, right? And then, like if you're taking her to McDonald's and another guy is taking her to a nice fancy restaurant, right, for steak dinner, right? You're gonna always choose the better option, okay? And to have the best options in today's society is via money, okay? But we go one step further than that. To have the best options, you need to be a king, right? You need to establish a kingdom. You need to have a following, people who see you as their leader, and that is what we're all about here. We are turning people into true leaders, into the leaders that the world needs, into the hero that the world needs right now, because that is what is lacking in today's
I'm
society.
willing to pay the right person to talk about intimate things and pretend to be my friend.
One of my first posts was a little like this, but that's because I was, just being honest and open.
T was obviously struggling with loneliness, and I get that, who hasn't struggled with that? But that feeling had clearly become something a lot more sinister.
I've done stuff with like incels before. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever felt like an incel?
That's an interesting question. I think there have been times where I wasn't hiring a girlfriend, where maybe I was feeling like I was being drawn towards that incel kind of culture. And that's where, you're on YouTube or like the dark side of the internet, you're just kind of watching.
I mean, what is incel culture anyway, right? Incel culture is involuntary celibate, so that you can't get a girlfriend, that you can't have sex, that you're not part of the sexual marketplace. So it's not like you're choosing to be a part of that, right? It's literally something that happens to you because you have no options. And then what happens is that it's really the black pill, that you are you're a bit doom and gloom, you're nihilistic about the world, right? That is what that culture is, okay? It isn't like people are like, "Oh, I'm going to choose to be there." It's like, no, they have no choice, and they end up in those places. And what happens is in those incel forums or incel videos and those black pill, content that you might be consuming, a lot of people might then start leading you down a path where you start blaming external things, right? Like, a different race to you, right? And that is where things get dangerous, okay? Because you have other people feeding you answers, feeding you problems, and then offering you solutions, being like, and that's how looks maxing was born, right? It's like, oh, right, the world is unfair, well, but you can make yourself look better, and then you end up with a guy like Clavicular promoting bone smashing and hitting his face with a hammer.
On a guy like Andrew Tate, whatever, you're listening to for hours and that's going into your head.
So the incel ideology revolves all around one thing: the black pill. I've actually made a doc on incels before, as well as a few other areas in the manosphere, like looks maxing and gooning. So make sure you like and subscribe to Zanland so not to miss our future films. But here's a quick summary of what I've learned so far. The black pill is a worldview that tells men that unless they're attractive, wealthy, and dominant, basically chads, they're fated to a life of irrelevance, where women will never date them. This idea of a genetic fate, where you're unable to find love and attract anybody, kind of removes all responsibility for finding a partner and encourages resentment and hate towards women. Hiring a girlfriend seems to fit into all this as a potential solution, a way to escape that rejection and to cure loneliness. If I'm going to properly understand why people like T and incels are hiring girlfriends, I need to ask some pretty uncomfortable questions and go somewhere a bit quieter than a busy pub.
I think because this modern world leads to a case for a lot of guys where trying to find a real relationship is incredibly difficult, and that's where hiring a girlfriend comes into it.
Yeah, I mean, the world is becoming more and more difficult because most people can't afford to participate in it. Which is why many people feel disenfranchised. They feel like giving up. They feel like that they have no options or no autonomy to make their own choices in life, that they're not free to express themselves and do and live life as they please, which is why they become depressed. Okay, they end up blaming themselves, they end up feeling sorry for themselves, and everything gets pushed down, and they end up in this depressed scenario. Okay, and the first thing here at Raw Instinct to do is to remove the self-doubt. Okay, you have to see yourself as king, you have to see yourself as a conqueror. Okay, you have to go forth and decide what it is that you want to do in this life. Okay, No one gets to tell you. You get to choose yourself. But the best place to start is by removing that self-doubt. Okay. Go forward, move forward, bring about new knowledge, bring about new creative ideas. Okay. Treat yourself as a king, see yourself as a king, and then the world will start viewing you as how you see fit. Okay. Move into a place where you are surrounded by people who have the best intentions for you. Okay, don't surround yourself with loser friends, old people who still see you as a baby, who still see you as a child, who are treating you as a loser. Get to a place where you are surrounded by people who value you, who understand what it is that you're doing, and are wishing you all the best in order for you to succeed.
It's another option, and dare I say, it's a good option. To a lot of men, I guess this is their way to get back what is rightly theirs.
I mean, it feels like within.
Yeah, I mean, before, right? Like you always, kind of, you were a child, and then there will come a time where your parents would, you would find a girlfriend, and start a family, right? And that is becoming less and less common, right? More rarer every single day, every year that passes by, because the game is rigged, right? We are at the end stage of the economy. The economies are faltering, everything is falling and failing around you. And the quicker that you wake up and realize that this is the end, that we are moving towards a scenario where the elites will try to shaft us, they will try to get rid of humanity and replace us with AI robots. The quicker you can get out and do something about it, right? Don't lose hope, don't lose faith. Become a king, crown yourself a king, and join Royal Instinct.
There's like a sense of entitlement around that. Like kind of these men and yourself at times feel like you're kind of owed women, but you don't have the women that you deserve.
As a man, you think, I'm going to work hard, do all the things I'm meant to be doing. I'm a good citizen of the world. I deserve a girlfriend kind of thing. I deserve a partner, come back home and have a pretty lady to come home to.
Who doesn't say no?
Yeah, who doesn't say no?
That's not like a healthy relationship, surely.
I mean, I don't want the reality, extra stresses, the realities of life. I want the yes woman, in a sense, because it's going to make my life better.
A lot of people would say that that's like a pretty reductive way to see a man and woman relationship, and I guess.
Why? Who is he to tell him how to live his life? Okay, if that is what he wants, then he should go out there and get it. And the way that this guy has solved his problem is like he pays and rents girlfriends. Okay, he can use that money for a sugar baby scenario. He can then, and then every couple of years he can just get a new model, right? If that is how he is happy living his life, who is he to tell him no, right? In life, right, you only get one life, so live it how you see fit. Do what you think is right, okay? And then find the right people who also enjoy the things you enjoy, right? Don't be a meat eater surrounded by vegetarians, right? Do you get what I mean? Like, don't be a Christian surrounded by Muslims, right? Like, you have to be around the people that want to live life how you see fit, who want to who share similar sort of values, similar sort of beliefs. Here at Raw Instinct, I'm looking for people who want to be conquerors, right? And most people watching this, most people who come across this channel, they will never understand what it is that I'm trying to do here, right? They will never understand. But once in a while, a good person will come along, and then they'll reach out to me. They'll be like, yeah, I agree. I want to have my own kingdom. I want to be a king. I want to live a life of luxury. I want to live life at the top. And that is what we're doing here, right? I'm here networking. I'm here connecting with people. I'm not here to, become a fucking famous YouTuber, right? Like, I have no intention of doing that, right? I'm not here to make money on YouTube ads or any of that bullshit, right? You're not going to see me doing like a sponsorship for Blue Chew or any of that crap, right? Manscaped, whatever you see these days. I'm not about that. I'm here to link up. I'm here to meet people, and I only want really like 100 people, right? 100 people, right? In 10 billion people across the globe, right, all using the internet, I'm sure I'll find 100 people who understand what it is that I'm trying to do, who want to do similar sort of things, and then we'll come meet up, we'll come together, we'll form kingdoms, we'll form alliances, we'll build like cool shit, forming new companies, new energy sources, new ways of living. better ways of living, right? Giving the world an alternative that they never had. And because we came together, because we had that initiative, because we had that first move advantage, why shouldn't we have all the rewards, right? That is how we are becoming successful. That is how we are becoming kings, because we are doing what most people are too afraid to do, what most people are too lazy to do, right? I don't care about anybody else. I only care about the kings who are joining the Royal Alliance of Kings, who are joining the Amicis, and everybody else can go suck a dick, right? Everybody else can go fuck off. We do not care about you. We are only care about the ones who we want to be around.
Like maybe a little bit worrying.
I guess, guys, we need support to figure out how can we be fair to women and the relationships that we hope.
Trust me, man. If you want to be fair to a woman, just give her fucking money, right? Look how happy she would be once you give her money, once you give her some money for shopping, once you buy her nice food. Like, that's all she fucking needs. A woman wants just to be able to flex on other women, right? Like, she wants to get a nice fancy handbag so that she can go show off to her friends, so that she can be like, oh, look what my man bought you, right? What did your man get? Okay, my handbag's better, blah blah blah, right? That's all they want to do. They want to show off. They want to live in a bubble where they can go endlessly shopping. They want to live like a reality TV star. They want to do what Kim Kardashian's doing. And that is what modern society is becoming. Okay. And you can be, nihilistic about it. You can be like, that's very superficial. That's very, this, that, or the other. Right. But the reality is okay, we're not complaining about what the situation is. We're just, seeing the situation and then making a plan to totally dominate and succeed at it, right? We don't cry and sit in the corner and be like, oh, I wish society was different. I wish dating wasn't like this. I'm like, right, if that's how it is, then I'm gonna skip the whole queue. I'm going to go right to the top. I'm going to be so dominant in that field that you can't compete with me, right? Whereas everybody else is joining these sugar baby sites. I'm like, no, I am broadcasting to the world of my kingly status, of who I am, right? And then I'm not even going alone, right? I'm not even being selfish. I'm going along with my other 100 people here on Raw Instinct who are joining us, who are creating kingdoms, who are creating an incredible, diverse alliance network of people who have subject matter expertise in all different types of fields, who are really some of the best people that you ever meet, right? And then if you think, oh, these people are arrogant, these people are I don't understand what it is they're doing, they're a bit weird, right? Like, we don't care. Like, we don't care, right? We'll be here. We'll be at the top. We'll be living great lives while you suffer in your gooning little world.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these ideas seem to come from, like, I suppose, the manosphere, the world of the incel. Is that where a lot of these thoughts have come from for you?
Yeah, I can only say my opinions and views are shaped from the world that I see around me. I deserve a partner who's going to love me back. And if you don't get that, you feel.
And it's kind of sad as well. It's like, like all that he wants is he just wants a partner that loves him back. That's all he wants, right? And she has to be slightly pretty, right? Like, it's not like he's asking for a lot. It's just like, even just the bare minimum these days is very, very difficult to attain for most people. Like, the pandemic really fucked up a lot of people and really stunted their social skills. Many people are afraid. Many people have social anxiety now. And things are just getting harder and harder, right? And because the man has to be the person who makes the first move, right? So you can't get over that. And when most men are too afraid to go there, they end up then, joining PUAs, pickup artists, advice. I'm somebody who, I used to be deep in the world of PUAs, pickup artists. I read a lot of that material. I've done myself about 4,000 approaches, right? I've approached 4,000 women, and then you really realize what it takes to attract a woman, right? And most of the time, right, like, you can get lucky, you can sleep with a woman, have a one night stand, but to actually have a relationship, to maintain a relationship, all women value one thing, right? They value resources. They want money. They want that security, okay? Because that is how they feel safe in the world. That is how they feel comfortable in the world. They prefer lifestyle over. Excuse me. They prefer lifestyle over affection, because they can get affection from each other, right? Women, like, are very touchy feely, giving each other hugs all the time, hugging their friends, sharing feelings and emotions. Whereas men are not like that. So we need a female partner to be able to get there. And that's why I feel sorry for this guy, right? He it's not like he's a bad person. It's not like he is an evil person. He just literally wants to be loved. And society is now being created in a way where he can't get that.
That resentment and maybe anger against the world that I'm doing everything I'm meant to be doing, why isn't it working? Then maybe this hiring a girlfriend thing actually, in some respect, helps tame the anger a bit. I think being angry at women in general doesn't achieve anything because...
Yeah, I mean, like even the fresh and fit people, I remember when that podcast came on TV, it was funny. It was a funny setup, right? They get a bunch of girls on, they make stupid comments, and then, you see Myron just crash out on them, tell them to, get out the show, right? He'll kind of berate them. Yeah, great. Okay. That is how women are, that they don't care, right? So why get angry? Why lower yourself? Why reduce your positive feelings, while turning yourself negative, right? You can't fight against it. The only thing you can do is maximize your outcomes, right? Focus on yourself, focus on your outcomes. Let's skip ahead a little bit and see what else is going on here.
Sex worker who's also a girlfriend for hire, and I want to talk to her and find out what she gets out of this. What's it like to interact with these guys?
She doesn't speak any English, so I have to use Google Translate, and that's supposedly what she does with the clients.
Amy started doing sex work when she was 18 after seeing an advert in a newspaper. It was a path she used to leave her home with a dad that she says was abusive.
Oh, here she is.
She's increasingly selling what she calls the girlfriend experience, and she's agreed to spend the day with me to answer.
I mean, she's already good. I mean, look at that smile and that hug, right? Imagine that, walking in and then she embraces you like that. She's very good at acting like a girlfriend.
My questions.
Do you consider them your boyfriend, or is it business? Is there any real love there?
Com certeza eu gosto deles, mas é de uma forma diferente, não é como namorado. Eu adoro os que ficam apaixonados por mim, porque eles sempre gastam mais dinheiro comigo.
How much does it...
So she doesn't see them as boyfriends, but she likes the ones that fall in love with her, right? So she wants to be loved because that means more money for her, right? And that's what it is. Okay, that's what it comes down to, right? Like you can hate it, you can be like, oh, that's not how the world should be. The problem is that most people have been raised on the diet of Hollywood films, romance, because men are more romantic, right? The love songs, heartbreak songs, like many people have been growing up around that, and then they think, oh, that's what women want, right? And then they see it, and then they're hoping for it, but it never comes, right? If you really think about it, those writers, they're all men, right? So it's all through a lens of men who are making that type of content, those type of movies, and they're feeding you lies because the only people who like love was created by people who couldn't afford to pay for it, right? Like because they couldn't compete with rich people, so they created this sense of love, right? And that's how the notion of love or romantic feelings got created. It was by poor people who couldn't afford to take part in real life encounters.
Usually cost to spend a day with you?
Eu cobro R$4.500.
Amy's clients sometimes do fly out to Brazil to meet her in real life, and then she'll spend the day with them, including having sex. We were going to a house, which is a place she doesn't usually take clients for her own safety.
So how do you speak to, foreign gringos? How do you talk to them?
Eu passo a mão no pau deles.
I mean, she's laughing because she's like, that's what I do. Like, yeah, I just rub and tug them a little bit, and then I tell them how special they are to me, and then she pretends to be in love with them, and then they'll pay for it. It's it's very basic, and that that basic need isn't being met. It's pretty much fucked, man.
How did you get into this?
Eu falei, vou começar na prostituição, vou pagar minha faculdade, porque na época eu fazia faculdade de Direito. Vou terminar a faculdade de Direito, vou seguir como advogada e vou parar com a prostituição. Eu vivi uma situação...
Like, think about it. She wants to be a lawyer. She wants to be in a respected field. She wants to do good work, right? So for them, it's not really a big deal that she is, renting out her pussy in essence, right? That she's not afraid of it. She's like, yeah, this is what it is. I'm going to do it. Why? She's a hot looking woman. Why not make the most of it? And that's how most females see it, right? It's an ends to a mean for them to get more money, for them to be able to live the life that they truly want. And she wants to be a high flying lawyer, right? Fair enough, man. You do you. That is great for you. Let's see here. Cold approach doesn't work in the US. Women are repulsed by the average male approach. They all give fake smiles, but in their minds, they're thinking, when will this creepy guy get away from me? Yeah, man. The thing is with cold approach is like she doesn't know who the fuck you are, right? She doesn't know if you're just a homeless guy, if you're a drug addict, if you're gonna kidnap her. Right. So every man that she doesn't know is in general just creepy because she doesn't know you, right? So if she doesn't know you and you're going up to her, that's very creepy in essence, right? So you have to, make her realize that you're not a creepy man, that you don't belong to them, and really the best way to do it is with money. It's like, oh, this man has money, okay, he must be a somebody then, right? And if you throw money at the situation, right, like back in the day, like in the 80s, what men used to do was they would like they'll give the woman like a $10 bill, a $20 bill, and they write their number on them, right? And they'll give that to a woman, and then because someone just gave you money, right, and their phone number, she's like, oh, if he's willing to give me just $10 just for with his phone number, let's see what happens when I actually go on a date with him. Okay, they are chasing the money, right? And like you can't hate on it, right? You can't hate it. That is how the world is working right now. That is the meta that is happening right now. Yeah, man, like here at Royal Instincts, we're not code approaching. We are sending out the signal to the people of the world who we are, what we're all about, and then the right people come and join us. Okay, it is all about creating that narrative and letting the world see you for who you truly are, instead of you telling people. Okay, like we are not chasing anyone. We are not cold approaching. We are not chasing people that don't know us. Okay, we want to meet those people who believe in us, who understand what we are doing, who want to be a part of our lives.
Um pouco abusiva na minha casa. Meu pai, ele pagava todas as contas, ele dava tudo para mim, para minha irmã, mas ele queria ditar as regras e ele era muito agressivo. E também eu tenho oportunidades que uma menina pobre não teria nunca na vida.
How would you describe what you do?
As pessoas que me procuram querem esse perfil namoradinha, querem que eu dê atenção, querem ser quase enganado. Ele me paga e essa hora ele vai.
Yeah, they want to be deceived. I think that's a great way of putting it that she just done there. They want to be told a lie. They want to, like, in essence, it's another form of escapism, right? Because sometimes the reality of the life that they live is so harsh, is so hard, that they want to kind of just escape in a fantasy that that there's a place where they're having this romantic interaction, and the woman is really into them. That like there's nothing sexy, there's nothing more feminine, right, than sitting down with a woman and you thinking she's really into you, right? Whether it's bullshit or not, right? But she is giving you that illusion. Right, and she's really into you. She laughs at all your jokes. Like that's all a man wants. A man wants somebody who respects them, somebody who that you show affection to, and she reciprocates it. Okay, it's literally respect and reciprocation. If you find a woman that gives you both of that, I guarantee you'll be fucking happy. Right, an occasional blowjob. Right, most men are living sexless lives. Most men, even married men, they might get a hand job once a month. Right, and like 5 years after marriage, most women are repulsed by their husbands. Like it's just a matter of fact, which is why here at Raw Instinct we are kings. Okay, and we have harems. We have harems, with as many as women as you can afford. Okay, is always best to have at least 3 women at all times. Okay, one your main girlfriend, the second woman your spare girlfriend, and the third the next one in line to join your harem. Okay, you're always interviewing one woman, you know, checking and making sure that she is the right fit, she's coming into your world, you know, and if she wants to stay, she can stay. If not, she can go fuck off, right? Because we have plenty of options because we are kings.
Querer que eu seja a namoradinha dele. Eu mando mensagem pela manhã, perguntando como tá o trabalho, escutar que eu amo. E eu falo. Eles são bem carentes.
Psychological.
Yeah, this is all right. All this is right. This whole documentary is the symptom, right, of a loneliness epidemic, right? So the men are lonely, so they go on internet forums to find these sex workers, sugar babies, prostitutes, and then the women, you know, because they see that, they exploit it, right? They're like, you know, well, I'm gonna do. She's gonna do all those things with a man that she loves anyway. Why not get paid for it, right? That's how they see it. They're like, well, I might as well get paid for it, okay? And then once I have enough money, then I can focus on love, right? Because love is cheap. Love is cheap, right? Nobody gives a fuck about it. It is it's all about power and wealth, right? That is how the world is working. And that is why we are here positioning ourselves as kings to make sure that we have all the true power that we deserve. And then everything else falls into place because we will have the wealth, we will have the women, we will have the lives that we enjoy. But the thing that is different with us is we are creating that network, you know, that group of people who really are true friends, who really have each other's backs, and then, you know, people that you can trust and stand shoulder to shoulder with, right? People who, you know, won't fuck you over. That is the difference between us and the evil elites in the world.
Logically, why do you think these guys are looking for someone to feel emotionally attached to?
Não conseguirem, na vida real, uma namorada da forma que eles desejariam, que é gostosa, é uma gostosa na cama e uma princesinha na rua, né? Como diria esse ditado popular. E aí eles contratam como uma forma de se enganar.
Do you find that you're doing more kind of companionship?
Os homens estão cada vez mais querendo contratar profissionais do sexo do que ficar com uma mulher que...
Yeah, because it costs the same, right? She's saying most women like most men would rather hire a sex worker than go on a date because it costs the same, right? And then sex at the end of it's never guaranteed, and you might pay for it all, and she ghosts you. She doesn't want the second date after that, right? So, you know, you're better off just then skipping the line and then paying for a service, right? And that is how most men see it. That is how most men are living, and that is how society is slowly becoming. Let's jump ahead a little bit further.
And he wants to try and understand what they think about.
If the person is, if she's available, you know, she's at home, she's not doing anything, then immediately, I would say. I mean, obviously, people need to go to do other stuff like go for water or go to the toilet, etc.
What's the implication if she doesn't reply quickly, though? What's happening in your mind?
Well, I think what's she doing? What is more important than talking with me?
For me, honestly, that's an absolute no. If you want to know how I would feel terrible because I wouldn't want to be controlled. I can't speak for all women. I would say that most women would not want that. You know, you wouldn't want someone to now text you and be like, "Hi, please text me now," and you're shooting a documentary, right? Like, it's just basic freedoms, and I would not wish anyone to have to go through that.
Would you agree then that there are some women who are fine to be submissive in that way?
This is very difficult for me because it's very different to how I am the same. I mean, I don't know the full extent of how submissive we're talking here.
How submissive are you talking? Because I also don't know the full extent.
They will kind of, within reason, you know, do what you tell them to do.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this guy just wants a sex slave, right? He doesn't want a girlfriend; he just wants a sex slave, which is, you know, every man should experience. I'm all for it. You know, don't be ashamed of what you really want. Go for it. But this guy, you know, he's better off paying for it, right? Because what he wants is probably he will never get that elsewhere, unless he goes for the really kinky girls. Because you can find those girls, man. Like, you can find girls, but the thing is, if you are somebody who is, if she sees you as a king in her life, like, she'll naturally submit, and then all the things that he wants will fall into place, right? However, you know, I think this guy, he is a little bit autistic. He's a little bit yeah, like, I text you, I want to text back straight away. It's like, bro, like, yeah, where she's taking your shit. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, he is, he probably never had a real girlfriend, so he doesn't really know what the fuck is going on.
I still don't know any woman who would choose to be in that situation.
Why do you think it is that you want this? You know, what is it that's making you want someone who does what you say?
I think it's the idea, like you said, is about power. It's a sense that it's my way of getting what I'm due. For an average woman now, she's getting 100 guys after her, and so her expectations are a lot higher than if it wasn't that way before, as it was before, where, let's say, guys were the ones choosing the partners.
If you take the bulk of human history, women were forced into relationships that were nowhere consensual. The concept of dating is very much like a 20th century concept. Complaining about issues with modern dating, to me as a woman, feels futile, because the fact that women are able to make generally consensual decisions about relationships they enter, that feels like a marked improvement.
How do you feel about if you were dating someone, if a guy had been hiring a girlfriend in his past?
I think I would be judgmental at first. I would definitely be close-minded. There's one thing to talk about being open-minded, and there's another thing about, you know, actually encountering someone who tells me this. I would definitely be, you know, open-minded to at least try and understand of like why you've been doing that, but definitely it would put me off at first a little bit.
Part of me wonders if you wouldn't feel the need to have so much power over these girls if you didn't feel insecure that they'd leave you once you stop paying them.
Yeah, no, I think maybe that's a good angle to take.
I mean, it might be worth considering, I don't know if you've considered this in the past, but like relationship coaching. People deal with rejection on a daily basis, but I think the main thing is to not beat yourself up about it. These are things that happen day to day, but it shouldn't kind of, kick you back down and put you in this negative mindset.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's pointless asking a woman to give her take on this, because a woman won't ever, what most women will never experience that, right? A woman's, you know, decent looking, right, decently attractive, you know, she'll be able to get a guy, right? She'll be able to get a guy, tie a guy down into a relationship, get a boyfriend. It might not be the guy that she wants, but she is capable of choosing someone, right? But, you know, again, like, women have so many options that basically they will choose the one, you know, who's giving them the best lifestyle that they can, you know, that he can offer. So it always comes down to money. It always comes down to resources. That is how the world is working. That is how the world is developing. Okay. And what I'm telling you to do is don't become a black pillar. Don't become a person who is, you know, all gloom and doom, you know, getting depressed about it. You know, be somebody who is in charge of his own life. You know, do something about it, right? And what we do here at Raw Instinct, we jump into our life purpose. We become subject matter experts. We become points of authority, and we are seen as people who have power, people who have who are seen as leaders, and we then crown ourselves kings and build kingdoms. Okay, if you want to be a part of that, if you want to join us, be part of the Royal Alliance that I'm forming, be part of the Amicis. If you understand what it is that I'm trying to do, that I'm trying to send a message to people to come and join us, then reach out to me. Let's see if we can work together. Let's see if there's a good fit. But that is it for today. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.